Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Had a viewer suggestion, this fella right here wants to see a video on the backhoe here where the fluids go. So I'm by no means an expert on this thing. I have looked into a few things on it though, and I think this is kind of like an in-between model, in between the older 580s and what is it, the 580L. But there is some differences, like my fuel tank is in here and the oil tank is on the other side, where I think the 580L and newer have the fuel and oil tanks down below. Mine's actually like part of the frame. And I believe the transmission on this may be similar to the newer models, but I don't think it's similar to the older models. This is supposed to be a synchronized 4-speed transmission. Synchronized as in you push this button in to disengage the torque converter. Basically be like pushing in the clutch. And then it should be able to just shift on the go without grinding, because synchronizer matches the speeds of the gears. A non-synchronized would be grinding and stuff. Well, this one's been abused, probably by not pushing the button, so most of the gears grind on this one. But while we're in here, the transmission oil is in between seat and the controls, and it is right here. I haven't checked this in a while, and it is a little bit over full. Looks nice and clean. Now, once again, I'm not sure on other models, but that's where it is on this model. You can see this curved tube right here. That's where the dipstick goes in. And that appears to be the rear end and the 4-speed. Underneath here you have your drain plug for your fuel tank and your drain plug for your oil tank. And then you have your filters for your hydraulic and transmission and whatnot. And then you have your torque converter up there, drive shaft coming back to the transmission, drive shaft going up to the front axle. On the front axle, behind the weight, you have your fill plug, and at the bottom you have your drain plug. Then you got your planetaries here. You want this line here to be level when you check it in that plug. To drain it, you put that straight down. Then to check everything underneath the hood on this model, you flip this lever. That opens up there. So on mine, here's your diesel fuel. Here's your auxiliary diesel fuel. It's basically just a plastic tank with a pipe on the top and the bottom. And that one over there, that's your hydraulic oil. Right here's your brake fluid. And mine, the cables are broke, so it likes to go a long ways down. Here's your radiator and your expansion tank. So is what a lot of people don't quite understand on cooling systems is this style radiator, if you fill it 100% full and it gets warmed up, it has to expand. That's what this hose is for. So This is a special cap that is made to push out the excess fluid down into the expansion tank, or on old stuff, the ground. And then when this cools off, it's supposed to draw fluid back in. So obviously on ones that shoot it onto the ground, it just draws back air. So on some of the models, you just want to be covering the core when it's cold. Something like this, you could fill it up higher, and then you check your level down there. There's full, cold, and add, because that will actually control the level in the radiator. You'll keep it full up there, and the excess will come down here. You don't want to fill this thing to the top, because they'll just push out here, make a mess. So that's your antifreeze, your coolant for the engine. Now, here's where you add your oil to this particular engine. This is a non-turbo 4B, not BT, or as Case calls this, a 4390. If this was a turbo, Case would call it a 4T 390, or it would be a 4BT. It's the B series engine. So here's where you put your oil in. Here's where you check it. Well, a little bit low. It's due for a service. And then this is your strainer here. And my fuel lines are getting a little bit tough. It's a crack starting in there. But that's your first line of defense from the tank to the pump. And then from the pump it goes to the primary fuel filter here. Some of them might have two, an adapter on there. And if you guys are changing this filter, here's your bleeder. And you're going to want to pump this lever here to get all the air out of the system. If you don't do that, it won't run very long. Then you'll be cracking all these injector lines to bleed them, because you can't compress air the same as you can fluids. Now over on this side, this is your sight window, sight glass, whatever, for your hydraulic oil. You want it to be at least that high, or around that high. It could be up in here a little bit, wouldn't hurt nothing, but you want to see it in that window. And you can see mine is not in the window, because I'm pretty sure I need new motor mounts, and I need the hose down there replaced, because these are shaky little engines, and that hose, no matter how much I tighten it, it just keeps weeping out around that hose and wiggling and whatnot. You might be able to see the little line where it shakes back and forth. So I got to do some work on this. I'm hoping to put new motor mounts in here along with that new hose sometime. Hoping this winter. I got a lot of stuff to do. We'll have to see. But yours may not have this chart here. I'll try to get that in frame for you so you can pause the video if you need to. But it says all your service intervals and what you're supposed to do. And it says fluids and whatnot. So I get questions every once in a while. What goes in the brakes? TCH fluid. TCH fluid, right there. Their abbreviation is hydro. Now, I might be wrong on this, but the best equivalent I can find is Hytrans. It's basically Case's newest version of hydraulic oil. Transaxle oil, HY-T. Hytrans Plus. Engine oil, number 1 engine oil. So this machine holds 25 gallons of fuel On the regular, 33 with auxiliary. Hydraulic with filters is 21.5, 21 without. Transaxle total fill 57 quarts. With filter change, just a refill with filter change, 47.6. Without a filter, 45.4 quarts. Now the total is like a full rebuild, totally empty. So there's apparently about 10 quarts that you can't get out. Front end, 4-wheel drive. The center is 7.4 quarts. Each wheel end, about 1.1 quart. Engine coolant with heater, 17.9 quarts. Without, 17.2. The crankcase says it holds 11.6 quarts. Hopefully that helps somebody out there. If there's something you guys are interested on here that I can go through on, I'd be more than happy to. But it's like about 10 degrees and my hands are getting cold. So thanks for watching, everyone. Join me next time. Take care and God bless. Oh, they're turning red. You want to run them?